Hey Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking. We're here to do the box EV of the last case of set boosters for Strixhaven. So we'll start off with our art cards. We got 10. That's almost 2 in every box. We have our list cards here. We did get some pretty good money list cards. These are pretty sweet. Felwar Stone isn't bad. These aren't too bad either. So these are the money ones. If I was going to do the average number of list cards per box was 7. We were as low as 5, as high as 8. Averages out to about 7. Rounded up, obviously. So, not too shabby. We have Mystical Archive in every pack. Like I mentioned before, I believe because of Archive cards, there are less list cards than before. Because in the previous Kaldheim, let me take a look here. 1 second, guys. That's not it. That's Time Spiral. Let me refer to my notes. I can't find them right now. I'm not going to tie you guys up with the silliness of me trying to find my notes for it. But there were more list cards in the other sets, and I think the reason that there's not that many in this one is because of the Mystical Archives. So out of the Mystical Archives, I had a lot of good money cards. We had a nice foil Inquisition of Kolozak. Very nice. We had a Time Warp, a Tainted Pact, a Natural Order, and a Teferi's Protection. So, 5 good money cards, but because there's only 5 of them that are high value, that means one box didn't have one. Now the rest of it, they had some mediocre cards worth money. You know, these are all $2 to $5 roughly. And I don't have the rest of the cards up here because they're commons and rares that are below $2. So, next, the trend continues. Only 4 full art mythic cards. So what that's telling you is if you buy a whole case, you're probably only going to get about 4 full art cards out of 6 boxes. So if you buy one box, your chance of getting a full art card is a little above 50%. I would say probably around 66%, something like that. We did get a Witherbloom though, and Tantrix Dragon, which are really nice. Those are some high dollar ones. With that said, these are the money mythics here. We got a couple Planeswalkers, 4 dragons. Not too shabby. The one thing I want to point out, like I pointed out last time, I talked about it toward the end of my box videos with the rest of the mythics, with the rest of the cases, is I realized that I did not get not one black-white dragon. Here's the rest of my mythics from all 6 cases, including this one. As you go through here, you'll see there's plenty of mythics. However, there is no white-black dragon. You'll notice there's lots of Professor Onyx, which is cool and all. But there's, plenty of everything else. But there was no white-black legendary dragon for Silverquill in all 18 boxes. This goes back to my theory of track printing, and that Wizards of the Coast has done track printing on this in a very bad way. Because really what's happened here is because of the way the stuff is printed and the way the boxes were tracked, I was getting the same rares and mythics, it seems like, in every spot. So clearly I think these boxes came off a print run right next to each other where every box was loaded the exact same way from the exact same sheets. There is a few variances which I wouldn't know how to explain, obviously. I mean, maybe I'm just tinfoil hatting it. But it is very odd that I got no mythics for the white-black dragon only out of 18 boxes. That seems highly unlikely. And the odds of that are very slim. So I think this is something that Wizards of the Coast has been taking advantage of, that nobody's doing mass box openings and checking this kind of stuff. So buyer beware. I think there could be a serious issue with this set as far as whether or not you get good cards or not. And I'll go on to continue that theory here when I talk about box EV. So next we have our rest of our mythics here. We have these mythics here are all okay. Not all of them are worth money. Once again, no white-black dragon just the white black demon guy. Plenty of rares. And then we had how many foils we got? We only had two mythic foils out of all 6 boxes, which is kind of sad. And then the rest of these foils here, which very few of them are worth anything. The only one's worth money is the Vanishing Verse and Prismari Command right now. It's the only thing above $2 or $3. So, mythics or foils is not what you should be looking for if you're in the set boosters, because you're probably not going to get what you want. I got a lot of good foils, in the Mystical Archive section, and maybe part of that's part of their plan of where they want their money to be in this set. Now, before I blabble anymore, let's go on a little more about that. So, let's talk about rares. So the average number of rares per box was 35. So it's one less rare per box than a normal 36 box booster. But you only get 30 packs. So that's actually pretty good. And also, that's me not including the number of mythics per box. Because on average, there are 6 mythics per box. Sometimes higher, sometimes lower, obviously. So if you divide that up, that's actually 36. So you get the exact same number of rares and mythics. Because in a draft booster box, if you get a mythic, you don't get a rare. You get the exact same number of rares and mythics in a set box as you would a draft box. So something to think about. For the Mystical Archives, it's looking like on average, the numbers are so sporadic, I don't even want to give you a number because they just seem awful. It's anywhere from 2 to 7 mythics and or rares. So I've got rare counts on some of these boxes here. For the archive, as high as 12. One box was 14. I've got rare counts as low as what looks like 9 to 10. So it's really, really sporadic as far as what they're getting rare-wise. I got one box on here for 7, which is just terrible. So that's something to think about. Forgot what I was talking about. Anyway, moving on. So the average box price of these boxes for this case of 6 was $110. Which is about average, honestly. I mentioned before, I count these as $1 a piece along with the mythics. Also, I added $15 for the Mystical Archives that I didn't include because they're rares and uncommons. I figure 50 cents a piece at best. With one in every pack, that gives you at least 30 of them. That's $15. So $125 if you add that. If you go across the average for all 18 boxes, the average comes up to only $111. So if you add 15 on that, it's $126. So the current price of the set boosters out the door is roughly correct, if not a little high, in my personal opinion, depending on how you look at it for value. Because the odds of you selling everything, especially when you start counting Mystical Archive cards at 50 cents a piece, that is below the $2 threshold, plus rares that aren't above $2 and you're just giving them $1 value. Those cards technically don't count, which means these box values could be a lot lower. With that said, as I look at these boxes, in this one we had a box that was $139, a box that was $92, a box that was $88, a box that was $79 of value, a box that was $140, and a box that was $123. So there's like 3 good boxes out of 6 in this one. In the previous cases, there's again 3 good boxes out of 6. And the one before that, there was 3 good boxes out of 6. So what I'm really seeing here, again, mentioning the whole tracking pattern problem, is it looks like the same number of boxes are being loaded with good cards and the same number of boxes are being loaded with not good cards. Because if that was any different, there wouldn't be this amazingly similar pattern to what these box values are worth. For example, in the first one, there was an 80 and 2 90s, then a 110, a 142, and a 135. The second set had a 135, just like the first one, had a 91, an 86, and a 100, and then a 133 and a 155. So in this set, like I mentioned before, 92, 88, 79, and then 123, 139, 140. And now the big box values come from getting those rare foil mythical archive cards that really drive the price range up. And to be honest with you, some of the higher box values from this set are coming from the boxes without a lot of mythics. Mainly because if you get good mythics, you don't get as many, it seems. It's really weird. For example, the box that was 140 out of these last 6 only had 2 mythics in it, but it had 3 viable list cards in it, and it looks like 1 very valuable archive card, which made up almost $80 of the value of the box out of the 140. And then the one that was 139, once again, only had 6 mythics. The one box we had that broke the record, I believe, for number of mythics was actually only $88 because the mythics that we got had no value. We just got a lot of them. So that's very disheartening. For example, on the other side, the box with the most value from the second case was $155. Had only 6 mythics. And 1 card from the list. And then the 5 other mythics were in the Mystical Archive, and they were all mythics worth money. So, the archive cards in that box alone was $78 of the value. So without the Mystical Archive, that box would have been horrendous. Again, the box with the most value from the first case only had 6 mythics. And once again, most of that value came from the Mystical Archive spot, not the actual mythic spot itself. It looks like the average value of mythics that we get per box, if I track it on average, it's really only looking like there's $20 worth of mythics per set booster box from the actual set. And that just means you have to hit the good ones. If you hit a good one, it's automatically 20. And the rest of them almost are nothing. So, now mind you guys, I did this off TCG player, market, and mid. Meaning, how much the market value is and how much they're listed for. I kind of took whichever one was more realistic. And mainly, I went off of what they were listed at, on TCG for sale. Now, that does get skewed every now and then because people put stuff on there to undercut everybody for like $5 just to sell the cards for whatever their reason is. So I tried to be reasonable about it and did what the average I saw was a higher or lower between them. But I know last time I mentioned how Keldheim was a lot better than the draft booster boxes. In this scenario, I'm not sure the set boosters of this set are better than the draft boxes. Now, I've got a case of draft boxes coming, so I will open those and see what they come up with. But I'm going to make a prediction and say it might be better to buy draft boxes in this set instead of these set booster boxes. Because, you'll get Mystical Archive cards or whatever. But, guys, I'm only pulling one or two money archive cards every 2 to 3 boxes. So it's not like I guarantee myself a money archive card every box. Like, for example, this one, there was 4 of them, right? Well, there were 6 boxes, so 2 boxes didn't have an archive card in there worth more than $5. And is that really worth it? So, especially with all the Japanese Ultras running around, that just might be a better way to just be investing your money and cracking packs, to be honest with you. So, that's all I got for today, guys. I'll leave you with that. If you have any questions or anything, hit me up down in the comment section below. Be more than happy to answer them for you. With that said, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, show some support for the channel. I do appreciate it. As always, these cards will be posted on eBay, and probably before you see this video, they'll be on eBay. So it's always first come, first serve, guys. So make sure you check that link in the description for my eBay store. Check it daily for new listings, especially beginning of the month. That's when I like to list all my cards. I have an email. If you have some in-depth detailed questions that you don't think will fit in the comment section, feel free to send me an email on that link. And as always, guys, let's make a better community and a better us. Let's be out there. Let's be kind. Let's have fun and enjoy the game. And remember, this is your captain speaking. Until next time, be kind. I'll see you on the next video.